Hi, welcome to Chester in the UK on November the 24th, 2024. My name is Colin. I want to build a better world and I have a website called letsbuildabetterworld.uk. I'm sorry, but I want you to join me, sacrifice your life for a higher purpose. So going back quite a bit, when I was 16 in school, we had externally assessed examinations and I came top in science. And at that time, on television news programmes, there were details of a famine in Ethiopia. And I felt sad about that. It's not right, I want to do something about it. And I thought, what could I do? Well, I thought I could be a doctor, but then I thought there are millions of doctors around the world and they haven't solved the problem. So I thought we need a new approach, a more idealistic approach, deeply rooted approach. So I began to think, why isn't the world perfect? And I realised it's because individuals are not perfect. So why don't individuals grow to perfection? Looking at chemistry, if you have a saturated solution of copper sulfate, it will grow crystals, and if you leave it, the crystals will get bigger and bigger. But if you add an impurity like sodium sulfate, a crystal will not form. So I deduced from this, all the individuals in the world are born with an impurity. I thought, if I can discover the nature of that impurity and publish it, I can save the whole world. I'm 64 now and I'm ready to publish. So my technique of progress is trying to be scientific. I'm not really a scientist, I'm a complete amateur, but I'm trying to be scientific. Therefore, I try to eliminate every single assumption. I'm going to talk about living an ideal life, but I'm going to refuse to assume that God exists. I'm not going to refer to the founders of any religion. I'm not going to refer to any holy book. Totally assumption free and trying to be rational and logical on that foundation. And my audience is professionals around the world who feel the same way. And there are many people who are professionals in all kinds of different countries who have this approach through their university education. And that's who I want my audience to be. So, I'm going to propose a theory. Everything in the universe exists in complementary pairs between a subject aspect and an object aspect. The subject aspect is big and strong, and it gives, and it has a purpose for whole. The object aspect is small and beautiful and has a purpose for individual. The subject gives, the object receives. Let's take an example. Let's take a skin cell. A skin cell provides skin for the body, and the body maintains the life force of the cell. The skin cell is in object position, the body is in subject position. That's true for skin cells. Looking at it more closely, a skin cell has to exist. That's its purpose for individual, and it creates skin for the body, and that's its purpose for whole. And that's not just true of skin cells, it's true for every cell in your body and in my body. Blood cells, brain cells, they all follow the same pattern of a cell having an individual purpose, an object position, and the body taking care of the cell and having a subject position. It's not only true for humans, it's true for all animal life, all insects and all plants. They all obey the same principle. The cell is in object position, the body is in subject position. Consider an atom. Consider a hydrogen atom. In the nucleus there is a strong, there's a heavy particle called a proton. and it's strong, and the electron cloud circles around it. So these two have a relationship of subject to object. It's not only true of hydrogen, but it's true of all elements in the periodic table. Therefore, all organic and non-organic existence follows the principle of a complementary pair. Looking at astronomical ideas, the solar system has a sun, which is subject, and planets that revolve around it, which is object, just like the atom. And looking at an even bigger scale, galaxies, astronomers are finding supermassive black holes at the centre of galaxies. So the black hole is subject, the stars going around it are object. Look at society. Look at an ordinary person in society. They need to survive, and that is their object purpose, but they provide a function for the society. If they're a doctor, they heal people. So society is in subject position, the individual is in object position. Looking at the universe, what's at the centre of the universe? Astronomers do not know. If this pattern is true, there will be something of a subject nature at the centre of the universe. Another example is the Chinese idea of yin and yang, of masculine and feminine. If you look at humans, they are male and female. If you look at animals, they are male and female. If you look at fish, they are male and female. If you look at insects, they're male and female. If you look at flowering plants, they are male and female. And if you look at particles, they're positive and negative. And these relate to each other. A particle, a proton and an electron, relate to each other as subject to object. All this evidence supports the idea that everything in the universe exists in complementary pairs between a subject partner and an object partner. So, you remember my idea was how to live a perfect life. To examine this, first let's look at females, human females. Girls admire beauty and they aspire to be beautiful. Can I prove it? Look at any fashion magazine. It's full of images of beauty. Women want to be beautiful. What do women want from a man? A woman wants true love from a good man. So therefore we can conclude from this there are two complementary ways to live a positive life. Purpose for whole, centering on true love, and purpose for individual, centering on true beauty. So to grow to perfection, of course, we have to be expert at both of these, not one, but both. And both of these should unite strongly through a give and take action between them. But we are creative beings. We are all free thinking and creative beings. To be genuinely creative, we need 100% freedom. So this theory is the theory that I'm proposing, that we have love, true love and true beauty that unites together, centering on 100% freedom. I must confess, I can't steal the idea. It's the idea of a dead man that died 10-15 years ago, called Sun Myung Moon, who's an absolute genius. But there is a difference between me and Sun Myung. Sun Myung assumes that God exists and loves him passionately. But I'm taking a more engineering approach. I'm not making that assumption. And you'll see through the theory that I've explained, I have not relied on that assumption. It's not needed. So I try to take a more engineering approach. So I invite you to think about this. I invite you to get in touch. And I promise you, I never lie, and I always try to keep my promise. Let's build a better world. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.